All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Phishing Fridays. My name is Jesse Hill, and I'm the president and owner of Tier 3 IT Solutions. And I've got with me today
Justin Grotto, and I'm the security specialist at Tier 3 IT Solutions.
Yes, thank you, Justin. Glad to have you here again. And today we're going to continue talking about, cybercrime and how it affects the typical small and medium business owner, the types of clients that we typically work with. And like anything, it helps to understand a little bit about why these threats exist. So, Justin, maybe to kick us off, walk us through what you see from the cybersecurity side of things.
Okay, so in terms of motives, these criminals, they are criminals. They're organized crime. They're financially motivated. In most of the cases, they're going to be financially motivated. They're there to steal money, steal identities, credit cards, identities, anything that they can sell or direct financial return on. That comes in like with the accounts payable fraud or like Amazon gift card fraud or any of those types of scams. These are organized crime groups, and they're sophisticated organizations. They have their own like customer success. They have their own like hotlines to help their customers actually execute on what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and it's a really good thing. I mean, so many points to make here. First of all, that these are criminals, right? To steal from other people, of course, we all accept that as being a crime. What's different about, the world of technology is, you don't have to physically enter a building or a bank or, pick someone's pocket. You, as a criminal, a cyber criminal, you have, an unlimited reach, right? When we consider all of the devices and services and tools that we use, I mean, for the most part, it's a username and a password away from being under your control. In some cases, many cases, I hope you have multi-factor authentication turned on. But ultimately, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get in and either take control or extract money. And Justin mentioned about them being, organized. These are big organizations. Like when you actually look at the stats and figures, cyber crime, and even just if we think about the ransoms paid through ransomware, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars per year in direct financial costs. And that doesn't include all of the things like lost productivity and businesses that close down, reputational cost, stolen intellectual property. So it's a really big problem. You mentioned really quickly there, Justin, about them having support structures. What did you mean by all of that?
I meant by having support structures, they have, you think of how a normal kind of software or technology business runs. They have customer success managers, they have account managers, they have, sales and marketing teams. Like if you look at one of these organized crime groups, it's not one or two people operating at one level trying to do this. They have development teams that run on a set development schedule. They run like a Scrum, they run sprints, they have though that kind of thing. And they've learned from functioning businesses like in software as a service companies to actually take those methods and take those best practices along and actually apply them in their criminal organizations. So yeah, and they're handling support tickets. They're like that whole like side of SaaS you would expect is in that malware as a service or those ransomware as a service companies. I'm calling them companies, but
well, and yeah, and I've talked to people about this a bunch over the years. Is that what I find really interesting? And I mean, we're not the ones figuring this out, but the FBI and these groups that have dismantled these ransomware as a service groups, they essentially operate on a franchise model where, one person or a group of people have developed a tool, a software, a payload, something that they have proven can get into a customer, a target's computer or network, lock up their data, hold it ransom, and then extract money through Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency usually it's being paid in. But what these cyber criminals have realized is they might be able to hit 100 businesses a month, but if they had a whole bunch of franchisees who were also deploying the software, maybe they could hit 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 a month. And so what they do is they manipulate the code a little bit so that each franchisee has a unique territory or franchise or payload that they're then responsible for deploying and delivering. So they need to find their own targets. And then from there, once they have somebody that's looking to engage with them because their information has been locked up and held ransom, the mothership, the franchisor, handles the logistics of collecting payment, sending out decryption keys, paying the people in the field for their delivery. So it really is a business, and it's a much larger and better funded business than most of us will ever dream of operating, which is part of what makes it difficult to defend against. So let's maybe talk about that, because we hear about the big attacks that happen, but why would some of these cyber criminals focus on smaller, medium businesses instead?
There's a few reasons. I mean, if you're targeting a smaller business, small, medium-sized business, typically the small and medium-sized business doesn't have the same budget as a large business to like invest in kind of controls to prevent or to mitigate attacks from these companies. They're targeting low-hanging fruit, and there is financial assets. They can take money through either fraud or a ransom or any of that kind of thing. They can convince you to send them Amazon gift cards, any type of thing like that, acting as like a client, or or pretending to be the CEO and saying that this client needs Amazon gift cards. And another reason why they might target a small and medium-sized business is, a supply chain attack. They're targeting that business to get to another business that maybe is a larger business that has a bit more financial resources, or whatever kind of helps them achieve their objective, right?
Yeah, and I want to just point out too is that when you think about a criminal, they're looking for whatever the gain is, right? They're looking for that money, they're looking for that control, that access, whatever. Typically, they also don't want to get caught. And I guess part of when you think about the mentality is, if I was going to steal money and I decided that I was going to do that by breaking into empty houses and rummaging through drawers or robbing a bank, which one are the police and the authorities more likely to apply assets to, right? They're going to chase down that bigger instance, that bigger crime. And so the cyber criminals, a lot of them realize that it's actually easier to extract $5 or $10 or $100,000 out of a small business than it is to get into a bank. It's also much less likely that is going to trigger the kind of legal action that might actually result in you getting caught with that as well. Justin, thanks so much on this one. We'll catch up some more on our next edition of Phishing Fridays, where I think we'll talk a little bit more about those supply chain attacks that you were starting to get into there.